Hey BookTube, welcome to Jackie's Literary Corner. I am Jackie. I don't have a thumbnail this time because it's too many to show you, but I thought I would talk about the books. This month I'm going to do, well, for my first idea for this summer, not this month, as in June, next month, my first idea was do a summer in Oz because I got a bunch of Wizard of Oz books, for my birthday, so let me see if I can, so I was going to do that, but then I remembered I have a whole bunch of series, and I also wanted to read Treasure Island this summer and the Odyssey. I was thinking kind of to do with ocean and stuff, so, and I feel like I associate ocean and summer because people go to the beach during the summer or use the pool during the summer, which pool is not ocean, but it's water, so I was going to read those as well this summer. So I have a lot of books I've been wanting to read this summer that I think will be, but I wanted to do a Summer in Oz because of what my sister got me for my birthday, so I still have to get back to reading this. Which is a collection, the first volume of the first 5 novels, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, which everybody knows, The Marvelous Land of Oz, Ozma of Oz, Dorothy and the Wizard in Oz, and The Road to Oz. And I did read, because I'm already familiar with, I skipped the Wizard of the first story, so I'm on to the second. So I started the second one, which is The Marvelous Land of Oz, where a boy, I think it's a boy, meets Jack Pumpkinhead, which is a guy that has a pumpkin for a head. It's a little creepy, actually, and a weird looking horse that looks like a pipe cleaner. And I've read up to chapter 4, or chapter 6. This is chapter 6, which is Jack Pumpkinhead's ride to the Emerald City. So they're going to the Emerald City where Oz is. So I don't remember it, the plot. I'll have to reread it from the beginning. So I'm going to reread the first 5 novels first before I read the other ones, the ones that my sister got me. I'm going to read this. I'm going to start reading this summer. Maybe start, right before, maybe like a day before a couple days before the end of May. And then what my sister got me, if you didn't watch my birthday book haul video, my sister got me these, which is The Lost Princess of Oz, which I don't know what it's about. Oh, I almost poked myself. And then Glinda of Oz, or as she calls her, as we learned from Wicked, Galinda. Although that's what she went by when she was a girl. And then The Tin Woodman, what I'm guessing is about the woodman. And then I know that there's books on each of the three characters from Oz that Dorothy meets. And then there's, I also Wicked, so I'm going to reread that series as well. But I have to buy all the other books from that series, so. And I'm going to try to stick to mass market copies of that series. Although I am jealous of, I'm so jealous of my cousin that she has one that kind of is, made like this one. Wicked. I really liked it, but I have such mixed feelings because they're aesthetically very beautiful, but they're hard to read and they're really heavy. So I'm, and I already have the mass market copy of Wicked, and I always feel guilty about having multiple copies of books. I'm one of those people who just, I can't bring myself to do that. So yeah, I'm wanting to spend a summer in Oz, so I might still do that. But then I also have a lot of series that I need to continue on with, and then I also want to make a separate video of the books. Which I need to look and see if I've already done that or not. Because, if I haven't, I'll make a video about the books in a series that I need to read the first book. Or I might be thinking about, because I've created a document list, of all the books I need to. So I don't know if I've done a actual video. I'll have to look. So I'm probably not going to film it today, but after, I'll look and see if I've already made a video. And if not, then I'll go ahead and talk about it. Either that or, I might, or even if I have my video, I might still do it and just do a better one. So I was going to spend a summer in Oz, but then, like I said, I remember I have a lot of books in series I need to continue as well. Like, I need to read Republic of Thieves, which is I think the third book. Which I think his fourth one will be coming out soon. He might be bringing that one. He's working on that one. Scott Lynch. Although I feel like a lot of people don't trust authors like Scott Lynch and George R. R. Martin because they take forever to bring out their books. But I say they want to do a good job, so they want it to be an amazing novel. So I need to read this one, but I was hesitant to read it because I hear it's a cliffhanger ending, and I don't know when the fourth book is coming. And like I said, I don't want to. In the first edition of the fourth book that will come out is not a mass market, but it is will be a hardcover, bigger size book. So it's like I try to stick to getting all the books the same physical size. But this is the fourth one, and I believe this is where we finally meet Locke's his love interest, the woman he's been in love with. I think we finally meet her in this one. Yep, Sabetha. We finally meet her in this one. But she's also, now according to this description, now she's his greatest rival. So which I kind of like those kind of stories where there's like, these two former lovers have this complicated relationship because they're in love with each other, but they're also competitive with each other. Like, those are always so entertaining. Although in real life, that's probably not healthy. And I think the other books imply that she kind of betrays him or something, and so he doesn't want to talk about her, but all of a sudden, I'm guessing in this book, she comes back into his life. I love these covers. They're really pretty. And then I gotta read. Finally, I definitely need to read. This is book 2, the sequel to The Eye of the World, The Great Hunt. I definitely need to read this one, especially because the show is coming out soon. I want to read at least a few of the books before the show. So I want to read this one, like, now. So I need to start this one now. This is the second one, and I'm not going to even bother giving you guys a description because I would be so bad at it. Like, Daniel Green would probably be better at it, and there's probably other fantasy booktubers who would be better at it, but he's the first one that comes to mind for me, Daniel Green. Which, if you love fantasy, check out his channel if you haven't already. But he's pretty popular, so I'm sure you have. But if you haven't, like I said, he's a really great booktuber. He knows his fantasy. But he doesn't just talk about books, he talks about fantasy movies as well. He even does like the fantasy news, where he talks about updates on the fantasy genre, whether it's a movie or a book. So I need to get to this one. So this one I'm definitely gonna get to, like, now. And I feel like I should read this one, focus on this one first, like I said, because the TV show is coming out and I want to read some of them before the TV show. Okay, and then next is one that I start, which I might save this for October, or at least start it in September, but then save it for October, get back into it in September, and then finish it in October. This is the Barbedious series. One of the non-fantasy series I'm reading. I only have a few non-fantasy series that I'm reading. And the other two I can't really talk about in this video because they're not continuations. I have to read the first book first. But Dr. Thorne is the third book, I think, in the Barbedious series. And I just wasn't feeling it when I first picked it up. I think I was just mentally exhausted from, reading stuff like this. So I put it down because I was kind of bored, but I want to continue with it. And I feel like I have to be in the right mood for this kind of story. So, it's kind of an older copy, and I've already ruined it a little bit. It's already kind of ruined a little bit. But I want to keep the dust jacket. Although I wish I had saved all the other pieces. So, this is basically Barchester is a small English town, and it's about the residents of the town, various residents. And, so some of these you could potentially read out of order, but some of them you probably have to read them in order. Okay, so I'll read the little description on the back and the inside flap. Intimate details of the lives of real people, minutely observed, distinguishes this third novel in the famous Barchester series. Dr. Thorne, a man of a good family, sets up his practice in the village of Greshamsbury. Living with him is his niece Mary, an attractive girl who unfortunately is both penniless and illegitimate. When the only son of the impoverished squire of Greshamsbury falls in love with her and wants to marry her, his family is outraged, particularly his aristocratic mother, who has her eyes set on the aging Nouvelle rich heiress, who she hopes will solve all the family's financial problems by an alliance with her son. How a stroke of fate makes Mary an heiress that even the Greshamsburys respect is the pivotal point that ends the lover's troubles in this delightful tale. Which I probably shouldn't have read all that, because now that kind of spoils it. So sorry about that. Kind of spoil if you're interested and haven't read it yet. So, I gotta get back to this one. Dr. Thorne. Okay, and then... next, I finally read, earlier this year, I finally finished reading Valor. Back in, I think, March or April. It might have been April. So I finally want to get to Ruin. I was hoping to get wrapped for my birthday, but I'll have to get that next book purchase I make. Which is going to have to be an online purchase. Because I still have not seen it at Books A Million. So, which I guess I should put that on my thrift books list or something. Dang it, I missed this. So this is the third book in the Faithful and the Fallen series, where it's a war between all these different kingdoms, and there's this prophecy that the gods of this world will send out avatars to fight for them. The Black Sun and the Bright Star, they will fight for them, and it's all about this prophecy. There's a prince who assumes that he is the chosen one for the prophecy, and he's the hero. He's the bright star, which is the good one, the hero. And there's, what I think it's really cool that this also includes giants as main characters. Although I think I need to see this on screen though, not just for the sake of I think it's really good. But also, my reason is also because I want to see this stuff. I want to get the visual, and I'm just not, my imagination is not always that good, in my opinion. So yeah, this is the third book, and then the fourth book, the last book is Wrath, which I don't have yet. I was hoping to get for my birthday, but I'll either have to buy it myself or wait until December. But first I need to read this one, and I want to read it soon so I have an excuse to buy Wrath. and not take forever to read it. So this is one of these situations where I need to get to it, because I always, when it comes to series, especially when it's books that have books this size, I take forever to read through them and don't get to them for a long time. So I need to, like, I'll read the first book, but then I will take forever to get to the second book, and then however many books are after it. So I want to make sure that doesn't happen, because it's only 4 freaking books. I mean, and there's a lot of series that, like, there's only four or 3 books, or even 2 books. Even, it might be a duology even, which there's another book on this. Let me get it. Oh, it might be over. I don't know. It might be. The book I'm thinking of might be in this pile already somewhere, but book by Raymond E. Weiss. It's a 4-book series called The Magician. And I've recently, at Books A Million, I actually saw they redid the covers. At least they had the first book out with a new cover, which is really cool looking. First book is called Magician Apprentice, and I've already read that one. So that's one of the series. There's only 4 books, so it shouldn't take me forever to read. So I've been meaning to pick up the second book, which is Magician Master, and I did start it. I'm on chapter 3. By Raymond E. Weiss. It's fun. It's a fun, and I think the boys, Daniel and Harrison, would like it, and maybe even Charlotte one day. But she's still a baby, so who knows what she's gonna be into. I just really hope. I'm just happy that I just hope that she's gonna be a reader too. I mean, I don't see why not, but you never know with people as they develop. Their interest might, not go in the direction you expected. Okay, I'm trying to show them in order that I can access these books. Oh, and that's right there. Okay, good. Let me just pick it up. I'll show you. No, you don't. Oh, the screen is going black. Like I said, I don't know what you guys see when my screen starts to go black, but this is the book. Magician Master. I got these books at the Black Castle Bookshop. And so, like I said, as you can see, I've read. Although I started to read chapter 3. But it's basically about this kid who, Pug, who, he's an orphan, and then one day he accidentally performs some magic. I think he performs some magic accidentally, and he's discovered by the court magician, who takes him on as an apprentice. Because at this age, this is the age when he and his, when the kids in this kingdom are chosen as apprentices, and the king's apprentice takes him on as his, and, but then soon he and his friends find themselves in the middle of a big epic war between these invaders coming to their kingdom from another world. But Pug, and his friends end up finding themselves in the middle of a war. And that's the first book. And this is the second book, and dealing with the aftermath of the first book. So, like I said, it's only 4 books, so it shouldn't be too hard to get it to continue with. It's just I got sidetracked. And this is Empire of Ivory, the 4th book in the Temeraire series. I wanted to get to that one now that Terry's got me books 5 and 6. I'm gonna get to that one. I got this one last Christmas, so I need to, from Terry actually. Like I said, she's been building my series for me. So I'm gonna get to this one soon. And then I think this is the next book in the Emperor series. So this is one of the historical fiction series that I have, on the non-fantasy series. This is about Julius Caesar and his origins, done in a fictionalized way. So this is the second book with dealing with like, and I don't know what's going to happen because I don't know a lot about Caesar and his life. I just know in the first book, his family, his house is just, his home is destroyed, and his father is killed, if I remember correctly, and he and his friend, I cannot remember his name, are taken to Rome to be, because he is his father's heir, and they are both trained, and his friend is trained to be a warrior, and he's trained to be, a government leader. And I had just read it a couple months ago, and I don't remember that well. I could do a better job explaining, but the first one is called The Gates of Rome, and then I think this is the second one. Let me see what it says in the inside. Okay, yeah, so this one doesn't really, it just has 2 books. So The Gates of Rome and The Death of Kings. That's what makes me think this is the second one. I'll have to double check on Goodreads. So I need to read this one because I don't want this to be an art series that falls on the wayside. So I'm gonna read that one, and then the way I have these positioned, it's far away, so I have to reach. Okay, and then I have. Okay, so I started to reread this series. Like, I had the first book. I read the first 3 books, or books 1 and 2, years and years ago when I first bought them. And I got to the 3rd book and I started reading, but then I stopped reading it and I got into the show. And then I did not pick up the 3rd book for a long time, so I started to reread the series, and now I haven't picked up the 2nd book in years. But I did finish the first book, and that is George R. R. Martin's Song of Ice and Fire series, or as the TV show refers to it, Game of Thrones, which is what the first book is called. Which that's a bit of a pet peeve of mine when an author names their series after their first book. But then again, I don't really know how hard it is to come up with a title. So this is the first book. This is the second book, Clash of Kings, and I am still going to reread the series because I know a lot of people take issue with it after the whole the last few seasons of the show did not go the way we wanted them to go. I feel like I think the main problem is that they just rushed. They rushed it because they were so excited to do Star Wars, I think. But I think that backfired on their ass a little bit because then they got fired from Star Wars. Which is ironic, because that's the whole reason they got rushed in the first place. So the lesson there is don't rush your work. But I'm choosing to trust George R. R. Martin and be patient. And it's probably easier for me to be patient because I'm rereading the series from the first book. And, so it's like I'm not in that position where I'm finished with the whole book, so I'm eagerly awaiting the next book. I am eagerly waiting for it, but I have plenty to read before then. And that's what I recommend, just start rereading the series. They're long books anyway, But I'm on the second book, so I don't want to, I'm hesitant, like, with this kind of situations, like, do I start over from the beginning? Because I got a big chunk into it. And that's kind of what, I made the mistake of restarting over A Way of Kings. Because this was another book, and I got, like, a little over 600 pages into that book, A Way of Kings, by Brandon Sanderson. And I don't know if I'm going to succeed in that the Brandon Sanderson challenge or not on Storygraph because of that, because I have not picked it up. Now I'm not including it on this list because it's a first book in a series. So basically, I'm sure I don't need to explain what this series is about. Basically, a bunch of people fighting over who gets to sit on the Iron Throne, which I do not. And then there's zombies, ice zombies that are after people, and all they can think about is who gets to sit on the Iron Throne. Which, who would want to sit on that damn chair? First of all, imagine it's uncomfortable. And second of all, I think it makes people cranky. So, yeah, so there's that. And then next one is keep saying that. This is another one. This is where I struggle because I'm thinking I gotta read the I should probably first read The Great Hunt first, but then I keep thinking I don't want this series to fall on the wayside, especially because it's a little different for me. This is Malazan Book of the Fallen series, the second one, Dead House Gates. And this is kind of like how Warbreaker, or no, Mistborn is after the bad guy wins, kind of situation where I feel like, no, although other people have read the series don't say this, but in my opinion, I feel like it's also kind of that whole idea of a person who's seen as the bad guy, antagonist, has taken over, or in this case, bad girl, because it's an empress who is taking over, and it's like how the characters deal with the aftermath of that. And each book is kind of focused on a different group of characters, but some of the characters from the previous book do come into play in this second one. So I'm guessing all the books follow that formula. It's a long book, another series that has a lot of books. Like I said, I don't want this to fall on the wayside, but I feel like I need to get to The Great Hunt first before I get back to this one. But Dead House Gates is oh, and the guy here at the Black Company left a blurb, which I've not read that one either. I almost bought that one. But yeah, I like this, but this is again another fantasy series that I have trouble explaining it to people. But I do enjoy it. I have enjoyed it so far, and I want to pick it up again, and especially because this is so different from me, and I don't want to all of a sudden realize I don't like it anymore. So I want to capture that mood of enjoying this. So I need to read that one. And then, okay, so all the other books are all the way over there. So I have to get up and get to them. Okay, so next is another oh, I guess I can't really talk about this one because it doesn't go with my guidelines for this video, which is books where I need to continue the series. So I can't really, although I guess it can count for it's a part of an overarching series, as is just like Seven Waters. So Ship of Magic. It's the third trilogy in Robin Hobb's Realm of the Elderling series, so I guess I can kind of count it. This is the first book in the Live Ship Trainers trilogy, and so this centers around a family that the family patriarch has just died, and his daughter, let's see if I can get her name. Althea assumed that she would get the ship, but the father, before he dies, he gives it to his son-in-law, who's an ass and does not deserve it. He's a horrible captain, but he gets it because, probably for financial reasons. And the thing about their pirate ships is that when a person dies, every 3 generations, the ship comes alive, and it possesses the soul of each generation, each member of the family that has passed. So Althea is determined to get it back, and she is forced to team up with a guy who wants to be a pirate king, but pirates they're not gonna be let take the idea of someone controlling their governing them. They're not gonna respond well to that. So he thinks if he steals a live ship, that people will respect him and consider him and allow him to be their king. So I think Althea and this guy team up. And I'm wondering if it's going to go in the direction of romance between the two of them. I don't know yet. But, this kind of counts and kind of doesn't. Because it is the first book of a trilogy, but it's part of an overarching series of books by Robin Hobb. So, see, again, another trilogy that I could probably, although it is a little chunkier. Okay, and the next one I definitely could easily finish all 3 books this year. And that is the Barbedious Trilogy. This is the second book. I finally got all the books. Because I had one of the books. I think I got rid of it, but then all of a sudden I heard Reagan from Peru's Projects talking about this trilogy and how much he loves it. Although, again, it's another one of those ones that is starting to become an actual series instead of just a trilogy. And this is one of those that I think I saw it. I got it in one of my trips to Disney, at downtown Disney, one of the stores there. I bought it. Originally, I bought the first book, and then I just never picked it up. But I have been meaning to, because, So, the first book I read, it's about a young man who was being trained as a wizard. I think it's an alternate version of London. And he is a wizard in training by this horrible master. And he wants to get revenge after being eliminated by his master and this other dude. So he summons a djinn, Barbedious, who is really dangerous and untrustworthy. But he and the djinn make a deal. So the djinn is helping him get his revenge. And this is the second one. And it picks up where the first one left off. Not exactly where, I think it's a few years later. And, once again, the two of them, Barbedious and Nathaniel, are the main boy, team up again. But I do not know why. Especially, and this is called the Golem's Eye. I'm guessing it's to the Golem's Eye, whatever they are doing. So, yeah, and this is really fun. I enjoyed the first book. Although, whenever there's a character that's otherworldly and they mock humanity, I do at times when I'm reading, I'm like, rolling my eyes and be like, really? We're not that bad. Which I think a lot of these stories are about those otherworldly characters realizing that and discovering that at least there's some humans that are actually decent and not as bad, But I love Barbedious. He's such a snarky little djinn, very clever, and he's not the biggest, but he's pretty clever, and I think he's dangerous in ways, not necessarily in size, but in trickery. And his relationship with Nathaniel is very endearing and very sweet. And I want to get this trilogy done, and then when I'm done with it, I want to pass it down to the boys. And, like I said, in Charlotte, too. Like I said, she's just the baby. She'll be 1 at the end of June. So, I don't know what she's gonna like. I just hope she's a reader. As long as she's a reader, I'm happy. Although, like I said, I want them all to be into fantasy. And I don't even know if the boys are going to get into fantasy. They're still pretty young, so I want to pass this on to them as well. Although they might become fantasy readers because of all the books I'm passing on to them are all kind of fantasy. And then this one is an arc, actually. But it did come out. It came out September of last year, actually. But this is the second book in the Lost Queen series. And this is about, the first book is about our main character, let me see if I can get her name, Langoreth. Langoreth, She is, sorry, I was looking at the back so I could get the names. I don't remember them. She wants to be anything but to be, she wants to be a mage. Their version of mages in this world. She wants to be like her brother, her twin brother, but her destiny, she's told by her father and her tutor that she is destined to rule their kingdom and be their queen and make babies and stuff. And that's the last thing she wants. And she ends up falling in love with a knight, one of Arthur's, or Uther, not Arthur. Arthur's not born yet. Uther's knights, but unfortunately, he's not who they want her to marry. And she finds out that she's betrothed to a knight of a king of the kingdom they want to form an alliance with. So it's all about her journey and her story, and her brother is the inspiration for Merlin. So it's a trilogy. This is the second book, and this is the art copy. I didn't get it, but my sister's college roommate and one of her college roommate and friend got it. She's a reader too, and she got the arc. So she offered to give it to me, and I still have not picked it up. And I've been meaning to, and I have been dating. I am debating, should I just read the arc first and then buy the book? Or should I just hope I didn't accidentally get rid of it, sometimes I will, so I don't have to, ask for a ride to get to the roast office. I'll just take a handful of books from my donation pile, when I go there. But I haven't this year, so I might have accidentally picked it up and gave it. I don't think I did. I'll have to check and see if it's in there. Because there's a couple books. There have been times when there's been books that I've kind of had second thoughts about them. But I don't want to, question every book I put in the donation pile. Because then won't be the point. So I'm going to check and see if I have. I just hope I do. Unless it's over here. Because I also have some books. No, I think it's in the donation pile, but, I'm gonna grab it, hopefully I still have it. So, and like I said, basically, long story short, I'm debating if I should just buy the second book, or if I should read this art copy of the second book, and then buy the final copy. I do not know yet. Okay, and this is the last pile, I promise. Okay, so earlier this year, I read the, not Time of Contempt. Whatever the next one is, let me see, what is, it's probably in here. Whatever it's called. Baptism of Fire, I think I read that this year. I read Baptism of Fire, so I've been meaning to get the Tower of Swallows. And then there's three more books. There's Tower of Swallows, and then The Lady of the Lake, and The Season of Storm. So I need to get that one, those two as well. So there's 3 books I need to buy. But this is about a witcher called Geralt. And it's based on the video game. And he is meant to protect the little princess or the last remaining, the heir to the throne of a kingdom that was destroyed, and it's his job to protect her. And his lover sorceress is sorceress. What is her? I already forgot her name. What's her name? I already forgot her name. Cannot remember it. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, I don't want to waste time looking for it, but because his lover sorceress is helping him as well. I can't remember her name. I'm sure as soon as I'm done filming, it's gonna pop into my head. Her name, or maybe even right before I finish filming. They kind of help raise the girl to become a young woman. And it's all about this big epic war going on. It's a little different. It's a translated work, and I do not know what country. I feel bad. I should know what country. This is also one of the ones that was adapted for the screen for a Netflix original series. So this is another one I wanted to get as many books I read. So, and I only have 3 more books left. I have to read this one, then I have to buy Tower of Swallows and Lady of the Lake, and then I'm good. So this one I'm doing better than the other one. And it's only on the second season will be coming up, so I'm good there. Then and here finally is the second book of the Seven Waters series. Unfortunately, it's not a mass market. I got whichever one. This is book 2. Which is called Son of Shadows. So I think it's about Sorka's granddaughter. Not her. I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to find. Oh no, her daughter. That was her granddaughter. So maybe the Child of Prophecy will be about the granddaughter. Ladian. She's, again, a destiny. She's destined, of course, there's always a destiny. So like I said, this is about each generation. Each, coming generation. I think this involves her falling for a guy that could potentially be a villain, an enemy, or at least an enemy, I think. Yeah, so if she falls in love with her enemy, and I think he might doom them all. And I'm guessing that's who Son of Shadows is. So like the other one, she falls in love with the enemy, because technically the man Sorka falls in love with is the enemy. Was the enemy at the time. I love the lavender eyes. Look, it's really cool. So yeah, I'm definitely going to read this. I need to read this year. And I always talk about, I always think, well, I read the first book in April, so I should read the second book, and then I never do. Like, I can't plan things that too far ahead of time, because then I won't follow through with them. So there's that one, and then the last 2 books. Okay, so first is another epic fantasy. It's again, it's another one of those ones where all the they have books in volumes. So there are 3 volumes, and this author has written more books, and I have some of his other spin-off series. One of them anyway, because I think he's written more. So this is the Rhyria Revelations. The first book was called I can't remember what it's called. Let me see. Theft of Swords. Where you have these two thieves, Hadrian Blackwater and Royce Melgar. They are thieves for hire, and they are called to steal this sword that is in possession of a king. But then when they go to steal the sword, they find out that they were set up to make it look like they had assassinated the king. So his son, who had just become king, sets off after them to be arrested, but his sister, who knows differently, makes a deal with them. She sets them free, but because she suspects that their uncle is a threat, and that they were framed, she asks them to protect her brother by taking him with them to find her old tutor who taught her supposedly black magic, and to find him and rescue him. And they must go on a mission to they have some kind of, I cannot remember, and so they have two books in one volume. So the second one continues Royce and Hadrian's journey, and where they must help this village who's being attacked by an enemy, and that could destroy them, or like some kind of demon, I think, or something. So it kind of doesn't really have anything to do with the first story, or it seems like it, but it probably will have to. Like, they'll probably all come together again. But this is the second volume where it has. Let me see. There's the rest of the story. What stories? Nithron Rising is the first one. Let me see if I can find the title page, the next one. Sorry, I'm trying to find the. Oh, you know what? I'm not gonna waste time doing that. So the first story is called, like I said, that one is called Nithron Rising. So I don't know what book 4 is. And I have my theories about it. But I don't know if I'm gonna be right or not. But anyway, and going by the names I saw in this book, we're obviously going to continue the story of, that was introduced in the first book, because I saw the names of some of the characters in that book. Not just the two main guys. But so far I really enjoyed it so far. It's really fun, It probably is a cliche at times, but I had fun with it, and I'm looking forward to continuing the next 2 books. So there's that one. And then the last book I want to talk about is, I read on ebook the first book. I reread because I had read the first book years ago, but then I had my moment and got impatient, got tired of waiting, so I moved on, and eventually I got a copy of the second book from friends, which I was surprised they had it, but anyway, so I got it. And then now I've been thinking about, I decided to reread the first book on an ebook. My goal was for audiobook, because I heard the audiobook was really good, but then they didn't have the audiobook, but they had the ebook. So I read it on ebook, and then I decided to get and now I'm going to read my copy that I got from those friends of the second book, which is Lair of Dreams, and I'm talking about the Diviner series. It's set in the 1920s. It's about our main character, Evie O'Neill, who has psychosymmetry. I think that's how you say it. It's basically a touch know where you touch objects and you can get visions of that person's life. And she accidentally uses this gift at a party in her small town of Ohio, and then basically humiliates this young man. And calls him, and reveals that he was cheating on his girlfriend. I think she might have been his fiance. And of course, no one believes her, because no one believes that she has this gift. They think it's all a con, a trick. And she ends up, as punishment for calling out this, even though it was true, she's sent to New York to live with her uncle, who runs an occult museum. But she sees this as an opportunity to hang out in New York, with all the flappers, and go to dance clubs and stuff, and just have fun. So but when she gets there, she and her uncle find themselves embroiled in a murder mystery that has an occult style murder, and it has, and there are also other people with other gifts. There's a lot of diversity in this series. And like I said, it's set in the roaring 20s, so who doesn't love the 20s? It's really fun, and I really, and this is the second book, which involves dream walking. And I really love Evie O'Neill as the main character. She's very different than a lot of YA characters, And the supernatural power, the special gifts and stuff, the psychic powers thing is really cool. And the idea of this occult museum is really awesome too. And so, this is the second book. And there are, once again, it came out with new covers. So I'm gonna get those as well. So I might end up buying all of them, all the new covers. I don't know. But, and just put this one in the donation pile. But anyway. So I'm gonna read this soon as well. So those are all the books. I think all of them. There's probably more, but there might be. Actually, no, I think that might be all of them. The rest of them, I think, are first books in a series that I need to pick up and continue reading the first book. Like, the Century Trilogy, Strange the Dreamer, that's a duology, I want to reread, the, Dark Tower series. It's a similar situation to, the same kind of situation as Song of Ice and Fire, where I read the first 3 books, and I started the 4th one, but then I put it down and had not picked it up for a while, so I decided I want to reread it from the beginning. And also, you hear about these series so much by book to people that know so much about the books and recall so many details. It's like I almost feel like I should reread them, because that way I can recall that stuff too. Like, I really talk about in depth. So those are all those are all the books of series that I need to continue the series. Like, if you're a series reader, I would love to know what are books from series that you need to continue if you haven't, unless you don't have the same problem I have with series where you and you can just binge series real quickly, or you don't have any series that you need to continue with, or maybe a series that you have the first book you need to pick up. So I apologize if the screen went black on you guys or anything. I don't know what happens when the screen starts to fade on me and disappear. I don't know what goes on in your end. But anyway, so if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Click subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell notification below if you want to be notified when I post new videos. And I hope you're enjoying your reading, and I will talk to y'all later. Alright, bye!